Sefer Shoftim, Hilchos Chamesh. 5 halachas sections. Zehu Siduran, Hilchos Sanhedrin, V'ha'onshin ha'masurin lahem. The laws of the great court and the punishments that are given over to them. Hilchos Edus, Hilchos Mamrim, Hilchos Evil, and Hilchos Malachim and Milchamos. Hilchos Sanhedrin, Ha'onshin ha'masurin lahem, which is interesting because you would think that would just all, like, why does he have to specify the onshin as a special thing? Like, it's not, that is one of the functions of the Sanhedrin, like once you're going that far, why don't you say Sanhedrin, v'onshin ha'masurin lahem, dinim that, I don't know, like the, yeah. And we'll as we go through, we should keep track of how many of these mitzvos have to do with onshin, Okay, so we have yesh bichlalan shloshim mitzvos, 30 mitzvos, eser mitzvos aseh, ve'esrim mitzvos los aseh, 10 positive, 20 negative. Zeu pratan, here are the details. Lamanos shoftim, to appoint judges. 2, shlo lamanos dayan she'eno yodea derech hamishpah, not to appoint, yeah?
Hold on, what does he mean by hamasurin?
I assume it means that they were entrusted to them or given to them, not masurin like Masorah transmitted, but like, that's why I translate as like given over. Entrusted, I feel like is the best English word, or like that they were authorized to do. It is a weird word though, I admit. 2 is not to appoint a judge who doesn't know the way of the law. So it's, I guess we should keep track of which, in the first halakha he said shoftim, now he's saying dayan, Yeah. So, and I know shoftim is the lashon of the pasuk. Dayan, I don't know. What's the, I'm just going to look at that los aseh here, Reish Pei Daled, just to see how they say it. Reish Pei Daled. Shelo lamanos b'dayanim adam she'eno chacham b'dinei Torah afa pishu chacham b'chachmos acheros. That was the long one. Shneimar lo sakiru panim b'mishpat. Yeah, it's weird. Yeah. Okay. 3 lintos achrei ravim im nechelku hashoftim, to go after the majority if the judges are divided. 4, so is shoftim again. 4 shelo laharog im rabu hamachavim b'ish echad ad shehu yasar shnayim. So not to execute if the majority is only one liable arguer until there are 2, meaning you have to have a majority of 2. 5 shelo yilamed chova mi shelo shelimed zechus b'dinei nefashos. So that one who gave an argument for in favor for vindication in dinei nefashos should not then retract and give an argument for liability. 6 laharog v'skila, to execute through stoning.
What's the sense in pay? It seems like if he,
yeah. I mean, do we raise that question last time? I can't remember. Right, like it's part of this entire thing that the Torah has, like to minimize the instances of a capital, of capital punishment. From a justice perspective, it's weird, but I'm saying that like the entire framework, I think, is not justice oriented; it's mercy oriented. And like all those halachos are, they favor non-execution here, and then by the mesis, it's all the opposite. Like for him, he's got the opposite. If you were melamed chova, you can't be melamed techus. Yeah. 6 is to kill with stoning. 7 laharog b'sreifa, to kill with burning, internal burning. 8 laharog b'saif, to kill with a sword, decapitation. 9 laharog v'chenek, to kill with strangulation. 10 litlos, to hang, that's hanging the body afterwards for avodah zarah and megadef. Actually, sorry, I said I was going to keep track here of which ones have to do with onshim. So we have, 4 is not really about onshim, really. It's really about, that's still part of their his chavos thing. So really it's 6, 7, and 8, and 9, right? Those are all, because that's 4 of them, fine.
And
10 is not an onesh though, because it's post onesh.
Yeah,
he's dead already. 11 likbor haneherag biyom harigaso, to bury the executed on the day of his execution. And then 12 shlo talin nivlaso, that his body should not hang, should not remain there hanging, right? Yeah, I kind of didn't realize that there were 3 los assays about the hanging, which is weird considering it's such a minority, like it's only about those 2 averos,
Yeah.
and it's almost instantaneous when the window is for this. It's just like right after they're executed, and the executions weren't that much either.
Yeah, I think the way they did it was like they would like hang the person up for like a second.
Yeah.
He's hanging up and taking down.
Yeah, like a very minimal thing. Yeah, not even on display. 13, shlo lahachayos mechashef. That one is an execution one, right? Not to let the sorceress live. I think we asked last time, like why is that singled out as a losas say, right?
Yeah, it's interesting that it says machashef instead of.
Oh, that's true, right? Yeah. In machashefa, it did say machashefa in the other one, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, let me just check out the full lashon there. Shelo yischayev. No. Wait a minute. Lo taseh shin yud. Is that a typo? Yeah, it's supposed to be shin yud aleph. Not shin yud. Okay, so I'll send.
This one also is yud.
Weird.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I'll try to remember to send a tikkun for that. Yeah. So I mean, I imagine it was a typo in that, not a typo on all Torah, and I'll sort of just use that. Yeah. Okay. 14 is.
It also says machashef.
Oh, it does. Okay. Wah wah. Yeah, but the pasuk says mechashefa, right? Yeah. Does it quote that pasuk? I assume. Yeah. Okay. 14 lahalkos Russia, to punish the Russia. Sorry, not to punish. To whip to lash the Russia. So that's a punishment. Fifth.
Russia, like.
Russia Bedin.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
It is interesting to put in those terms, right? Because technically it's a Russia Bedin for the mitzvos also. It doesn't say like laharog harasha beskila.
Right.
I think this also comes from the lashon of the pasuk. Maybe.
Okay.
Let me see. Reish chaf daled in the essays. Lahakos harashayim shnemar. So it quotes Devarim 25:2. Let me just see this. Yeah. V'haya im bin hakos harasha v'hipilo hashove v'hikahul hafanav ad k'dei rish aso b'mispar. So the pasuk puts it in terms of Russia. So it's a question on the pasuk, not on the Rambam.
Yeah.
Shelo. Hold on, just 1 second. I just want to make sure I'm sharing the right screen. Yeah. Okay. Good. Shelo lahosif b'hakayas haloke. Now it calls him the loke. That's interesting because maybe, I don't know if this is reading too much into it, but maybe because the whole idea is once you have whipped him, he's no longer a Russia.
Makes sense.
Yeah. So
also, right. Also now he has the status.
That's also true. Right. 16. Shlo laharog naki b'umdan hadas. Not to kill an innocent person through a estimation of like a mental estimation. I think that's where you like, let's look at the Sefer mitzvos again. Let me look at this. I thought that's where like you basically like rely on circumstantial evidence, or am I imagining that?
Okay.
We'll see. Let me look at the Sefer mitzvos. I always forget to open this up. Yeah, you're looking at the minyan mitzvos? What number is it?
Reish Sadi.
Reish Sadi, okay.
Shlo lachtos hadin be'omer hadas. Ashiyiru shnei edim gufo she'ladama.
Yeah. Oh boy, this is. Hold on. Yeah, this is a lengthy thing for the Sefer mitzvos. He's here hadayan shelo lachto hagadarim be'omed hadas. I don't know what it means lachto hagadarim. Not so. It's warning the judge not to make a decision. I don't know what the Gedarim are. Gedarim are usually fences, but through an estimation of the mind, hachazak, through like strong, I think, circumstantial evidence. Even if it's close to the truth. Okay, kagon. Oh yeah, I think we read this. Kagon sha'adam yerdafehu sona'o lahargo. So guy's chasing his enemy to kill him. So to escape from him, he goes into one house. And the rodif goes in afterwards. And then they enter afterwards, and they find that the nirdaf was killed. V'hu mefarfir, I don't know what mefarfir is, v'sona'o, and he hated him, shahaya rodfo omed alav hasakin biado. So the guy is standing there with the knife in his hand, umanatef dam, and it's dripping blood. Harizeh harodef lo yaharguhu, and herdrin altzad chito hageder. Right, so since there's no testimony, then even though the evidence is pointing there, then you still can't
crazy.
kill him. Yeah, I mean, this really is like very, ahead of its time. I feel like this is probably not so common in the olden days.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it seems almost like unjust.
Right. I mean,
like
it's
a
all
single
PADM, right? It's all
Yeah.
based on ADM. Yeah. Yeah. Well, this is why you also have the institution of the king. I mean, I heard this from Rav Pesach. I forgot if he was quoting the Ron, but that it's either Rav Pesach or the Ron. That's why you have two systems of justice in Judaism. You have the Sanhedrin that does judgment according to the like rigid technical requirements, and then the king tries cases and he can make the decision on his own. So like you need these two systems because sometimes things fall through the cracks from technicalities. And so you need that, but then you don't have the king all the time because that's not going to lead to a just society, Right. Yeah. And I mean, the other thing also, the Rambam says in Hilchos Sanhedrin that the Sanhedrin could do a haras, sha'a, and execute someone if they know that he killed somebody, and bypass all of this, which is also just interesting. Yeah.
So what's the point?
Yeah. It is very interesting. Yeah. It throws a whole new light on that. You know how they do that killing though? The barley death.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
Yes,
Right.
yes.
So I think that's where they apply it.
Okay. Because that's right. Because I guess you're not actively killing him. You're just kind of like.
I guess so. I mean, but still, I mean, it still is a question like, why do you give them that option? You know, seems like the whole thing is that it should be absolute.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So 16, shlola harog naki b'umnadas, right? Okay. So that is hard to tell whether to classify that as onshim or in like din,
Well, yeah,
it's kind of both.
Yeah, because I guess it's a restriction of their power. So.
Right. Yeah. It's also factually, yeah. It's forcing. It's delineating like you have to act as a court, not just as a judiciary body.
Right. I guess that's a clean distinction to make. I think like what they can judge versus like what they do as a result.
That is a good distinction. Yeah. So this we're saying is well, it does go to both though, this one, right? Because it's saying that it's saying you can't do this onesh.
Well, you can't even judge the case, I guess.
Right, if there's no idiom, yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So I'll go in the first category.
Yeah. All right, 17, shelo la'anosh anus. Huh. I don't recall that one. Reish tzadi daled in mitzvos. Not to, let's see, shelo la'anosh anus, yeah. Oh, that's ulenar los asa davar. That's the pasuk, of course. The woman who gets raped. Yeah. I guess I just didn't realize that it was a los asa.
That's so weird. Why wouldn't you just say like there's just no?
Yeah. You mean there's no avera?
Or no avera?
Yeah. I mean, I would guess it's just because in so many of these societies they would punish people who are onshim. So like it is imposed on the base team. But yeah, it's strange. Right, like let's say this case went to trial. So like, is there a scenario where they would find her guilty and deserving of punishment, and then they have to say, well, we're not going to punish because of this losase? Like it's just, like the punishment is stated in terms of the mitzvah is stated in terms of the punishment.
Yeah.
But I feel like it's just going to be part of the case. Like if they see that she wasn't at fault. Like when they're going to get to a scenario where this applies, where they have to they were going to be punishing al pi din, but then they have to refrain, Right. 18 shlo lachus al horig chavero o chovel bo, not to have compassion on one who killed his friend or wounded him. That's also, is that, I don't remember what the substance of that mitzvah is. Let me look in the Sefer mitzvos to see whether that is onesh or not. Reish ayin tet is shizir adayin shelo l'rachim al mishi yaharu chavero o chiser bo echem me'evar v'rotalomar b'piraon kanasos. Okay, in terms of the kanasos, so that's punishment. Okay. 19 shelo l'rachim al dayan al hadal bedin, not to have mercy on someone who's poor in judgment, meaning who's being judged. Okay, so that's for the judging part. 20 shelo l'hajar gadol bedin, not to glorify someone who's gadol in a court. 21 shelo l'hatos hadin al bal averos af al pishu chote, not to incline the din based on the fact that this guy does averos even though he's a sinner. 22 20, like don't just say like, oh, the guy deserves punishment, so we'll paskin that way. 22, shelo la'avel mishpat, not to pervert justice. 23, shelo lahatos mishpat ger yasom, not to incline the judgment of a ger or a yasom. I think we noted last time it's weird that almana doesn't make an appearance there.
Yeah.
20.
Also, that's either way, right? That's like for Rachel or for din.
Lahatos mishpat.
Yeah, like
for Rachel for din. Yeah, you're right. Yeah. 24, lishpot b'tzedek, to judge righteously. So that's just the essay of shelo la'avel mishpat, I think. 25, shelo liyira badin mi'ish zeroa, not to be afraid of the judging when there's a strong arm man, there, like don't be afraid like of his threats and change your judgment because of that. 26, shelo likach shocha, not to take a bribe. 27, shelo lisa shema shav, not to bear a false report that we did from Mishlei, right? That's the hearing, or not a false report, I don't know if you want to translate a report in vain, but like that was the case of where you try to testify early.
Okay.
Right. And accepting rechilus and lashon hara. 28, shelo l'kala dayan, not to curse a judge. 29, shelo l'kala hanasi, not to curse a nasi. And 30, shelo l'kala adam mishar b'nei Yisrael haksherim, not to curse any other kosher Jew. Yeah.
Yeah, one thing is interesting that lishpot b'tzedek is near the bottom.
Yes. Yeah, you would think that that'd be a leader, one at the very top. Yeah, that's true. Interesting, by the way, I don't think this came up last time, but you could definitely see from 2016 through 2020 why shelo l'kala nasi has to be its own los aseh. Like he's not just functioning as a judge, but people like cursing the leader of the entire institution is like a separate like thing that people are inclined to do. Okay, so now that we've done all 30. We had, if I count up the onshim ones, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 ones that had to do with onish. All right, so it is a substantial. It's about a third.
Yeah. Also, wait, it's weird that just the last one is weird. I just realized. So it's called Adam Mishar B'nei.
Yeah.
That doesn't fit. I mean, I guess.
Yeah, it doesn't fit, but I guess because it's in the klalos thing, then it's going to go there and follows. It's also the same structure, I think.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Yeah, like I don't think there's a separate isser for like a separate Maisa isser for all these. It's just the recipient.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I guess otherwise you put it in Deos.
Yes,
yeah. Okay. Next, edus. All right. Yesh bichlalan shmona mitzvos, shlosh mitzvos aseh, v'chamish mitzvos los aseh. There are 8 mitzvos, 3 positive, 5 negative. V'zehu pratan. These are the details. Laha'id b'veistin l'mish yodea lo edus. So that one who has knowledge of testimony must testify in beis din. Right. That's meaning you as a witness. If you see something, say something. 2, lidrosh v'lachkor ha'edim. To interrogate. How do you translate lidrosh v'lachkor? Question and interrogate the witnesses, I guess. I don't know this. I don't know.
Yeah,
I mean, drisha and chakiras are 2 separate things. So I don't know if there's a good English translation. 3, shlo yoreh ha'ed b'din zeh shehe'ed alav b'din in nefashos. So that the witness who testified in a capital case should not paskin in the din of this case. He shouldn't be moreh. Yeah, okay. Or not paskin. He shouldn't give. He shouldn't act in the capacity of dayan, like giving a hurrah. Yeah. 4, shelo yakum davar be'edus echad, and nothing should be established on the basis of one aid, or the testimony of one.
Except something.
I think not in court though.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay. That makes sense.
Right. I think.
Sota.
Oh yeah.
I don't know. That might be an exception, or maybe it's not the maskana. I'm not sure.
Yeah, but
that was a question.
Yeah, I mean, I know like this stuff. Let's say, like for example, like nida. That's like, but that's not like in court. That's like.
Right.
You can rely on the testimony of one person. Yeah, I'm gonna read it in the Sefer Mitzvos anyway, just to see what he says. Reish Peches. He's here. Dayan. Hold on. Yeah, shelo lachtoch hagadarim. Lachtoch hagadarim must be like some sort of Ibn Tibbon phrase. I've just never heard of that before. I want to see kafach here because it's a strange phrase. I feel like he's just using it like to mean to make like a judicial decision. But Reish Pei Ches is, he says, Kavach says, she was telling me la'anosh. That's what lachtel chagdarim means? Yeah, la'anosh. Why doesn't he just say that? La'anosh o l'chayev mamon be'edus ed echad. So you're not to punish or extract money on the basis of edus echad. So that is two things. So it's not, like I said, a court, it's onesh or mamon. I'm going to read the whole thing in case he has exceptions. Even if the witness was perfectly kosher. That does sound pretty absolute. Okay. Yeah, so all right. Yeah.
Well, what's the difference
between what? Drusha and Chakira? Let us look. I think it's the kinds of questions. I think, if I remember correctly, I'm going to say this and we'll check it. I think one of them is about the crime itself, and then the other one is about like all of these the things surrounding it, like what color was the tree and stuff. Let's look in the what mitzvah was that? Days. Okay. Oh, sorry. Kuvayin Tes. Okay. And that was an assay, right? Okay, so let me look at where are they? This is mitzvos los assay. Mitzvos assay. Kuvayin Tes. Okay, if you want to turn to Hilchos Edus, Perek Aleph, is that where it's going to be? Yeah, okay. Yeah, it's a 1-4 in Hilchos Edus. Okay, so mitzvahs to say lidrosh as edim ulachakran ulaharbus b'she'elasan umudaktakin alehin umasayan osan me'inyan le'inyan be'ez ha'she'ela kadesh yishtaku o yachzeru b'hen im yesh be'edus and dofi. So it's mitzvah to dorish and choker the edim, and to increase in questioning them and being medactic with them and bringing them from topic to topic at the time of question, so that they either shut up or they retract if there is something dubious in their edus. Shnemar v'darashta v'chakarta heitev v'shalta heitev utzrichan daim hizahar be'es ha'chakir ha'edim. What's your next word after ha'edim? Okay, yeah, good. Because mine has brackets around that. Shema mitocha yilamdu l'sheker uvesheva chakiros botinosam. So you have sheva chakiros that you check them with. Be'ezo shavua, be'ezo shana, be'ezo chodesh, ubekama v'chodesh, be'eze yomi me hashabes, ubekama shalos b'yom, uve'eze makam. So what year, what month, when in the month, what day of the week, what time, and what place. Afilo amar hayom harago o emesh harago, showing lehen be'eze shavua, be'ezo shana, be'eze chodesh, bekama chodesh, be'eze yom, be'ezo shah. So you have to say the exact information. Umichlala chakiros yeser al hasheva hashavos bakol. So in addition to the 7 that are equal in all the chakiros, you have she'im heidu alav she'avad avodah zarah, showing lehen esme avad. So if he worshipped avodah zarah, you say, what did you worship? Uve'ezo avoda avad. How did you do it? Heidu shechilas Shabbos, showing osan ezo malacha asa v'heach asa. If he violated Shabbos, you say, what malacha did he do and how did he do it? Heidu she'achal b'yom ha'kippur she'olin osan eze ma'achal achal uma v'kama achal. What did you eat and how much did you eat? Heidu sheharagas hanefesh. If they say he saw him kill someone, showing also b'meh harago. What did he kill him with? V'chein kol kiyos b'zeh harihu michlach chakiros. So that's the chakiros. He says, "Hakiros vadrishos hein hadvarim shehin ikar haedus v'hen yischayev o yipater v'hen kavanas hamaaser she'asa v'kivan hazman v'kivan hamakom shebehen yizoma haedim o lo yizomu she'in anu yicholim lahazim haedim ad sheyichavnu hazman v'makom." So the drishos and the chakiros are the things which are the essential testimony, and through them a person will become liable or exempt, and they are the v'hen kavanas hamaaser she'asa, the intention of the act that was done, and the precision of time and precision of place through which you can falsify the edim, because you can't falsify if they testify about the time and the place. Okay, v'od marbin livdok ha'edim b'dvarim she'ein ikra ha'edus v'eina tluya b'hem. You also ask. Oh, so I was thinking of the drishos and bedikos, not drishos. So maybe drishos and chakira are the same thing.
Okay.
But we got this far, so we might as well read this, right? So you also increase the bedikos of the edim on the things that are not the ikra ha'edus v'eina tluya b'hem, and it's not dependent on them. Payment declaring bedikos here are called the examinations. The more you do this, the better. So they say they saw a guy kill someone, and they did the 7 chakiros that we said. Shehim b'chavanas hasman v'chavanas hamakom v'nidrshu b'chavanas hamase v'kivnu hamase. I don't know why he has to repeat all of them, right? V'kivnu ha'kli shahargbo bodkinosan od v'omrin lahen mehaya lavush haneharago ha'horeg. What were they wearing? The victim or the murderer? Begadim levanim oshcharim, white or black. Afar ha'aretz sheneharaga laha lavan adam, was the earth that he was killed on, white or red. Elu v'kiotzi b'hem hema b'dikos. Ma'aseh she'amru ha'edim harago b'makom ploni tachas ha'te'ena ubadko ha'edim v'amru lahen te'enim shalash choros hayu o levanos. Oh wow! So if he says he killed him under the fig tree, you got to ask him: were they white figs or black figs? Oh, uksin shel osan ha'te'enim arukos o ketzaros. Were the stems long or short? V'cholam marve b'dikos v'kiotz b'hen harzeh b'shubach. Yeah.
So it seems like bedikos are not a chiyuv.
Yeah, it sounds like harzeh b'shubach. Yeah. Yeah, so I guess I don't know then what the Drisha and Chakira means. Maybe that's just it sounds like he was using them interchangeably. Okay, back to the list. We are now on Gimel Shlo. We did Gimel.
So what's the difference then? Drisha and Chakira versus
Drisha and Chakiras are all the 7 that you have to do, and then the specifics for each of the Avera.
Right.
Like how did he kill him and stuff.
Okay. And because anything more than that.
Yeah. Okay. All the surrounding circumstances. We did 3. We did 4. 5. Shlo ya'id bal avera. Someone who has done an avera cannot testify. Right. We read through the list last time, right? I think so. I think, yeah. Shlo ya'id b'krovo, that a relative cannot testify. 7, shaloid lahayid b'sheker, not to testify falsely. 8, lazos la'id zomim kasher zam, to do to the aid zomim what he conspired to do. That's interesting. Yeah, that's another example of how that could technically have been an onshin, but it is definitely more relevant to edus because it's it's a false type of false edus. Yeah, Hilchos Mamrim. Laws of rebels. All right, so this is the interesting one in terms of what's included here. Yesh b'chlam tesha mitzvos. There are 9 mitzvos. Shalosh mitzvos say, v'sheish mitzvos lasos say. 9 positive, 6 negative. V'zehu prata. And here are the details. Lasos al pi haTorah sheyomru beis din hagadol. To act, to do in accordance with the teaching that the beis din hagadol says. That he says is following all of Torah Shabbat Peh and also all of their takanos, gezeros, and minhagim. 2, shlo lasur midivrahim, not to deviate from their words. That's the parallel one. 3, shlo lahosif ala Torah, not to add to the Torah. Lo b'mitzvos shebichsav, lo b'feirushin shalomanu mipi hashmua. Not to add in terms of the Torah shebichsav, and not to add to the explanation that they learned by tradition. 4, shlo ligroa min hakol, not to subtract from everything. That's where he says min hakol, as opposed to min haTorah. Yeah. I mean, he must just mean min hakol, meaning everything he just said. But 5, shlo l'kalel av v'aim. All right, so that kind of shoots a hole in, but like that's not grouped with the other klalos. 6, shelo l'hakos av v'aim, not to strike father and mother. Then l'chabit av v'aim and lirab me av v'aim, to honor your father and mother and revere your father and mother. That's weird. You would think that would be first.
Yeah. Also, I could definitely see the other klalos being mamar. It's not crazy. Right,
that's true, because it is dayanim.
Yeah, like that would be rebellion.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, that's a good question.
Well, yeah, maybe the reason he does klala and then kibbut av and then yira is maybe because like the klala is the act of being a mom. And then
excuse me, yeah.
And then
it makes sense. 9, shlo yihye haben sora umore al kol aviv v'imo. That the son should not be a so rare. How would we translate sower? Deviant and rebellious against the voice of his father and mother. Hilchos Avel, the laws of mourning. Yesh bichlal arba mitzvos. Oh, here comes the fun one, right? Achas mitzvos say u'shalosh mitzvos lo say 1 positive, 3 negative. Zehu pratan. Lihis albel al hakrovim v'afilo kohen mistamim misabel al hakrovim v'ein adam misabel al harugei beisin l'fizeh kilalti kalalti halachos elu b'sefer zeh shem ein kvur b'yom misa shehi mitzvos say.
Wow.
Chad gad ya. To mourn on relatives, and even a kohen makes himself tameh and mourns over his relatives, and no one mourns over people executed by Beis Din. And because of this, I included these halachos in this sefer, meaning in the Sefer Shoftim, because they are thematically similar to burial on the day of death, which is a mitzvos aseh.
Wow.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Mystifying mitzvah, and then that was the one that in the meaning of mitzvos he said just that the kohen should be matame,
Right.
nothing about a veilus or kavur misa, kavur bio misa, or anything like that.
Right, but I guess this explains why it's here.
Yeah, at least he's doing that. Yeah, just what is the thing that's here, Rambam?
Yeah.
2 shlo yitame kohen gadol lekrovim, that the kohen gadol should not be matame for krovim. So this is also interesting because, like, yeah, I understand that that's going to come up in Avelus, but like you could easily put that in any of the, yeah, all the stuff about the Kohen being Tameh, or like Nihug of Kohanim in general.
Yeah.
3 shlo yikanis im hames ba'ohel, he shouldn't enter into the tent with the dead body. 4 shlo yitame Kohen hedyot lenefesh adam, that a regular Kohen should not become Tameh for any person, ela lekrovim bilvad, but only to his krovim, his relatives. And the last one. Hilchos Melachim u'Milchamos, the laws of kings and wars. Yesh bichlalan shalosh v'esrim mitzvos. There are 23 mitzvos. Eser mitzvos aseh u'shlosh esrei mitzvos los aseh. 10 mitzvos aseh and 13 los asehs. Zehu pratan limanos melech mi'Yisrael, to appoint a king from Israel. 2, shalo yimanim mikahal gerim, not to appoint from the congregation of gerim. That's another reference, by the way, when I was saying how there's a different kahal for gerim, that's explicitly referencing that. 3, shlo yarbe lo nashim, that the king should not increase wives for himself. 4, shlo yarbe lo susim, he shouldn't increase horses for himself. 5, shlo yarbe lo kesef v'zahav, he shouldn't increase for himself silver and gold. 6, lahachrim shiva amim, to annihilate, to exterminate the 7 nations. That's another terminal mitzvah, literally. 7, shlo lahachayos mehen neshama, not to allow any one of their souls to live. 8, lemchos zaro shalamalek, to erase the offspring of Amalek, or to wipe out the offspring of Amalek. Yeah, I never quite got what the distinction is between lahachrim and limchos. Lahachrim comes from cherem, which is like contraband or like, prescribed, whereas limchos is much more of a killing word.
Yeah.
Tes lizkor mash asa Amalek, to remember what Amalek did. 10 shlo lishkoach masav harayim va'arivasa b'derech, not to forget his evil actions and his ambush on the path. But maybe we mentioned this, by the way, when we did this the first time around, but for lizkor mash asa Amalek, the Rambam does not imply that is done through Kriyas Torah. Right, it's just remembering. And Kriyas Torah obviously would be a kiyum in that, but it's like just remembering it,
Right.
or verbalizing it, 11. I did 10, right?
Yeah.
Not to forget his evil actions and his ambush on the deck. 11.
The different lashon between Tess and
Tess is lizkor and 10 is shlolish koach. Well, one's an asay and one's a los asay.
No, I mean like mash asa and.
Oh yeah, right. Specifying it. Right, masav and arivasa b'derech. Right, that's true. 11 shlo lishkon be'eretz Mitzrayim, not to dwell in the land of Mitzrayim. 12 lishloch shalom liyoshvei ha'ir k'shetzarim aleha v'ladun ba ka'asher meforish b'Torah im tashlim v'im lo tashlim. Interesting. That's a long formulation. To send for peace to the inhabitants of a city when we besiege it, and to apply whatever is to it, whatever is explicit in the Torah, if they make peace or if they don't make peace. I just want to see how they did that, how he does in the Sefer Mitzvos. Kuf Tzadi. Oh, Lasos b'milchamas harashus kamish bar hakasa b'Torah. Wow, that's very different. To to do in an optional war what the laws are in the Torah. Okay. So here the emphasis is on shalom.
Yeah.
But that would seem to be like all war based on the formulation there. Where are we at now? 13. Shelo lidrosh shalom ni Amon u'Moab bilvad kishetzarim alehen. Not to make peace overtures to Ammon and Moab exclusively when we besiege them. Right? That's not to lidrosh shalom, but we do accept shalom. 14. Shelo hashchis ilane ma'achal b'matzor. Not to destroy food trees, when in a siege. 15. Lahaskin yad sheyitzu bo bale hamachana lihipanos bo. I always forget what that is. Haskin yad, to fix a hand. Sheyitzu bo, that they can go out. The bale machana lihipanos bo. Is that about the whole bathroom thing?
Shovel.
Yeah. Is that it? Let's see. Kuftzadi Beis. Let's look at it in the Lahaskin Yad b'Machne. Okay, that's not helping. Let me look at it in the Sefer Mitzvos. Kuftzadi Beis. Wait. No, sorry. Aseh. Kuftzadi Beis. That's why it's not Orla. Kuftzadi Beis. Hatzivui shnistavim bizman shiyotim mechanusenu lemilchama shenachin derech michutz lamachne shebo yifne. Yeah, that's sending the latrines outside, and so they don't do it in the camp. Okay, where are we now?
Wait, so that's setting up a place.
That's setting up the place, yeah. And 16, lahaskin yased lach porbo, to fix the shovel to dig with. That's to keep it on their weaponry. 17, lim shoach kohen ladabir ba'oznei anshe hatzava b'shas milchama, to anoint the kohen to speak in the ears of the soldiers at the time of war. That's kohen mishloach milchama. 18, lihios me'ares ubone binyan v'notea kerem smechem b'kinyan shana tamima umachzirin osan mina milchama. That someone who did erusin, who got engaged, who built a building or planted a vineyard, they should rejoice in their possessions for 1 full year. And we bring them back from milchama, meaning we don't have them go out to milchama during that year. 19. I think that essay is also different. Hold on. Ratio Daled. Yeah. So in the Minyan mitzvos, it's l'sameach hasanes ish doshana, not a reference to war, and it's also categorized in the stuff about marriage, not in the stuff about war. That's very interesting. That's a big difference. Okay. 19. Shelo la'avor alehen davar v'lo yitzu afilu l'tzarchei ha'ir v'tzarchei ha'gedud v'dome lahen. Not to la'avor alehen davar. Is that like not to hold them responsible for anything? Not to pass over them for anything? And that they shouldn't go out even for the tzarchei ha'ir and the tzarchei. Do you remember what gedud is? I thought,
Guard.
sounds reasonable. Let me just look this up in the. I forgot to open the Chabad.org English.
Yeah, it's like I think it's like a soldier or something.
Yeah, they always mention like Gedudei Chayos V'listim, right? That's like a phrase.
Right.
So I associate them being bad guys, but that's not what it means.
No, I've heard it in terms of God. Like God is like.
Oh, God, Gedudi Gudeno, who Gudeno Akiv, yeah. All right, let's see here. Wars. Okay, so in what number was that?
That was
19?
Shouldn't be off.
Oh no. Sorry, hold on a second. But in the Mishneh Torah, it was
yeah.
That's okay. It was 19, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, not to call on them for any, and then in brackets, public duties, neither the needs of the community nor the needs of the army, or no, like, okay, so Gudud is the army. Yeah, 20 is Shlo La'arot V'lachazor La'achor B'shas Milchama, not to be, was it Arot is to be, cowardly, I think, and to return backwards, to retract in the time of war. 21, Din Yifas Toar, the law of Yifas Toar, and which obviously makes sense that it's in Milchama instead of Ishus, even though it's like it intersects. 22, Shelo Timach Yifas Toar, not to sell Yifas Toar. And 23, Shlot yichbeshena la'avdus achar shnivala, not to subjugate her into slavery after she had be'ila. Nimtzu, kol mitzvos hanechalas b'sefer zeh arba'a v'shivim. Wow, arba'a v'shivim? That's a lot.
Wow.
Right? All of the mitzvos in the sefer are 74. I feel like that's more than a lot of them.
It's more than Torah.
Yeah, definitely. I just want to check this out. Hold on. Is this more than Kedusha? 70 is in Kedusha.
Wow.
I feel like Kedusha had the most. Maybe Zraim. Oh, maybe Zraim. Zraim had Sheva V'Shishim. No. All right, so I think this is the most then, right? Avoda. Let's look at Avoda. May have a shalosh?
Yeah.
Okay, so that's the most. And what about Korbanos?
And Korbanos has yeah.
Okay, yeah, fine. So this is the second most.
Yeah.
Mehen Sheva Esrim mitzvos aseh v'Sheva Arba'im mitzvos los aseh. So that's 27 positive and 47 negative. V'nimzu kol ha'halachos shel arba asar sefer shalosh u'shmonim halachos. Turns out that all the halachos in the 14 books, all the halacha sections, see, that's a weird thing also that he counts those up, is shalosh u'shmonim halachos, is 83 halacha sections. V'ata, why does he have to count the halacha sections?
Yeah, weird.
That's strange.
No.
V'ata aschil levayer mishpatei kol mitzvah u'mitzvah v'chol hadinim haniglalim ima me'inyana al seder ha'halachos be'ezra shakai. And now I will begin to explain the laws of each and every mitzvah and all of the laws that are dragged along with it in its topic in order, the order of the halachos, with the help of the Almighty.
Wow, amazing.
Chazak v'nis chazek. Yep, finished not even one book of the Mishneh Torah. It really should be its own book though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a lot.
Yeah.
I was really expecting something about Mashiach at the end, but there's no mitzvah about Mashiach.
Well, it is in Hilchos Malachim and Milchamos at the end.
Yeah. So
right. It's just you're right. It's not. Yeah, your mitzvah. It's not going to show up on the mitzvah radar.
Right.
Yeah, that's true. And in fact, it is, even the ordering of it is weird, because where does it come from? So if you look at Hilchos Malachim, so let me just see here. So Hilchos Malachim has, in fact, it's even weirder. If you look at Sefer Shoftim and Hilchos Malachim and Milchamos.
Yeah.
So if you look at what each parak is about. Okay, so in fact, you know what, yours actually has parak titles.
Yeah.
Right. So parak Aleph is going to be about appointing a king. 2.
Kavod Melech v'Avonoso.
Okay. 3.
And mitzvos Melech v'Samchoso.
Mitzvos Melech what?
V'Samchoso. Samchoso.
Like Simcha or
no, the Samach.
Oh, it's like his. Yeah, I don't know I'm not sure what that is. I mean, it looks from the looks of it, it's all the type of stuff that the king is not allowed to do and that people are not allowed to do to the king. 4th parak.
Yeah,
Milchamos. The rights of a king.
I guess so. Yeah.
Really? Oh yeah, I guess so. Yeah. So that, these are all the king's rights, things you could do, like impose taxes and stuff.
Okay.
5. Okay, right. 6. Okay, is conduct in war.
Okay.
7 is. Okay, yeah, right. So these are all of the all the people who are and are not involved in war. Okay, so now then it starts to get to, then Yifas Torah is next.
Yeah, Yifas Torah, Ger Toshav.
All right. So then, there's the interesting, right? So Yifas Torah, and then it goes into Ger Toshav, which is also not a specific mitzvah. Then Tes is going to be Sheva Mitzvos B'nai Noach.
Right, which is also not.
Right, and then Yud is also more about Sheva Mitzvos B'nai Noach, which is also not. Yeah, the punishments, right? Yeah. Then 11 is about Mashiach, and 12 is about Yemos Mashiach. Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely belongs in Hilchos Malachim, but yeah, it's just weird how all those last parts are not mitzvah oriented. Yeah. And you would also think, I mean, I understand why the B'nai Noach stuff is here, but you could have put it into Sanhedrin because they were the ones to accept them, or it could have shown up in Hilchos Yesodei Bia by the Gerim, by regular Gerim.
Right.
You know.
Right.
Could have been in Hilchos Avodah Zarah of like, I mean that's a stretch, but like,
Right.
yeah, interesting.
Yeah. Well, I guess because in the mitzvos he had that you shouldn't you shouldn't appoint a king as a ger, or a ger as a king.
Right. Although that's that is about a ger tzedek.
That's true. That's
Yeah.
true. Maybe right. Never mind.
Yeah. Alrighty.
Right. Cool. All right.
Good. We are done, and we can start Hilchos Yesodei Torah next time. Yeah.